Los Angeles Rams defensive back Nickell Robey-Coleman, 23, breaks up a pass intended for New Orleans Saints wide receiver Tommylee Lewis, 11, during the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Photo, Chuck Cook. USA Today Sports, stories that won't die, so why let them? And Nawlins lawyers suing Roger Goodell, demanding the NFL commissioner replay the NFC title game from the moment of the pie that wasn't called. Frank D'Amico says it caused among WhoDat Nation mental anguish and emotional trauma, loss of faith in the NFL, loss of enjoyment of life, loss of entertainment and distrust of the game. Loss of enjoyment of life. In New Orleans. Brutta, if you can't shake an L in New Orleans, you got bigger issues than pass interference. I've been to New Orleans maybe 20 times, the vast majority of them in working situations. I have seen the comedian Rob Schneider, way past blasted, fronting a band somewhere in the middle of nowhere just outside the city, before he fell off the stage. I have downed more hurricanes at Pat O'Brien's than I would like to recall. I just missed seeing Jimmy Buffett drop in on an iguana's show at a bar on Frenchman Street. I bought a voodoo doll and pins. Don't ask why. I invested in a gree-gree bag. Ditto. At the New Orleans Zoo, I saw an alligator eat a duck. I was on Jackson Square in New Orleans for New Year's Eve, when my wife got bopped in the head with a champagne glass tossed from a balcony. And I haven't even mentioned the food. I feel your pain, Saints people. No, actually, I don't. To feel it would mean I've experienced it recently. Nope. Our guys here haven't made the conference title game in 31 years. So, find yourself a corner bar or a street party, locate a Sazerac or a 24-ounce beer, and dance the night away to the Neville Brothers or a guy playing a washboard with a spoon. It'll be okay. I mean, it's New Orleans. As for the Hoff vote, Bonds and Clemens didn't make it again. Nor did Schilling. So the oldest debate in baseball will continue. As will the frightening possibility that one, two, or all three will eventually get in. The math is stark and unforgiving. Bonds and Clemens each finished 65 to 70 votes shy of induction this year. They have 3 years to close that gap. In other words, they need either existing voters to change their minds, or the voter rolls to change quickly and significantly. See.com, something few people, myself included, fully understand. 1 year a player is a hofer on a voter's ballot. Next he is not. Bonds and Clemens' totals have risen steadily, if not hugely, over the 7 years each has been eligible. Why is that? Maybe some voters think the pair has suffered enough. Maybe some have found religion. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Some manipulate their ballots yearly, to make sure players who aren't locks remain relevant. I know so-and-so is going to get in, so I will use one of my 10 votes on a marginal guy, or a guy close to falling off the ballot for lack of votes. These are the same voters who will tell you all that matters is numbers, and if you don't bow to the numbers you are stupid and shouldn't have a vote. I have been guilty of this myself, having a change of mind. I mean, I don't do it to manipulate anything. I'm not that smart. I do it because I've had a change of heart based on research or a shifting opinion. For example, I voted for Trevor Hoffman until it occurred to me how silly the save rule is, and how easy many saves are to obtain. That said, I voted for Rivera, because he's the best who ever lived at saving ball games. I won't change on Bonds and Clemens. I don't care if I'm the last one to feel that way. I truly don't. I suppose if Cooperstown removed the character clause, I'd consider it. Cooperstown won't. Bill Callahan to coordinate men's offense. The current Washington Redskins O-line coach took the Oakland Raiders to the 2002 Super Bowl and coached 5 seasons at Nebraska. Bill brings a solid track record and vital experience to new Bengals head coach Zach Taylor's staff. Doc. What? The Bengals are hiring Bill's kid, Brian. Oh, never mind. Brian Callahan was Oakland's QB's coach in 18. Before that, he was Denver's QB coach, 2015, and Detroit's, 16-17. Any of those teams have a dynamic passing game while Brian Callahan was there. Derek Carr got no better this past season in Oakland. The Broncos haven't had a QB since Manning retired. Detroit has Matt Stafford, who reminds me of Andy Dalton. It's fair to point out that Carr was under siege this year, sacked 51 times. And that the Raiders dealt his best target, Amari Cooper, halfway through the season. That doesn't change the larger point. I could be entirely wrong. My crystal ball has been in the shop since about 1979. But don't you want to surround a rookie head coach, who has never even been a coordinator in the NFL, with experienced assistants? I was all for cleaning house at PBS. It was pastime. If you want to give a kid the keys to your car, fine. Maybe he should have a chauffeur for a while, until he learns to drive. Vindicated. Per the Today Show, my position is that I was not disrespectful to Mr. Phillips. I respect him. I'd like to talk to him, he said. I mean, in hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing. That's Nick Sandman, the Kovcath student whose stare down with a Native American protester has redivided us. He said exactly what I wrote in this space on Monday. There isn't enough blame to go around for this mess. In no particular order. The Hebrew Israelites, who have gotten off easily, compared to Sandman and his school. The things they said showed why free speech can be dangerous in the wrong hands. The media, who chose to run with a less than fully formed story. Shame on us. The chaperones, who expressed their innocence yet exercised little control over the students. The students, who needed badly to be controlled. Young Mr. Sandman, whose smirk is impossible to ignore, no matter what his handlers say. The president, who once again plays politics when unity is the concern. Please lead us, Mr. President. Don't divide. Led by good example. Be the moral compass we so desperately need. Obviously. Thank you. Because TV is my life. Happened Upon You, on Netflix, originally on Lifetime. Don't know what to think about this show. As entertainment fluff, it's engaging, highly binge-worthy. It's also wholly airheaded. Crazy, obsessed guy with no life chases aimless, hopelessly shallow, sort of writer. Gets a little Dexter-ish carried away. Hilarity ensues. TML says seek it out if you feel like your brain needs a holiday. To know the day. I'm in the process of moving my records out of milk crates and into shelving. This exercise is no different from looking through old photo albums. You spend more time playing the records than shelving them. I have maybe 400 records. I was with them 2 hours yesterday. I'm already deeply into the seas. This could take years. I got to the end of the Bees, the band, Beach Boys, Beatles, Roy Buchanan, Buckinghams, yes, Buckinghams, and Buffett. Coconut Telegraph, pretty good early JB, including this little gem.